Big Boost. The one thing all Rocket League players rely on to be able to make high-flying plays. It's also the thing that is many players' downfall as they get caught going for it in situations where they don't need to, and then get punished for doing so. Now, in order to eliminate that issue of going for Big Boost when we should be playing the ball, I've decided to just get rid of Big Boost from my game in Rocket League. Pretty much never going for it unless it is directly in my path. This means never leaving the play to go get the big boost, and hopefully always being in a position to be able to support my team by rotating the small pads. And let's just say that this is going to be a very interesting week. And while initially understanding the concept to a high level may be a bit slow, by the end of it, we make one of the most important realizations in all of Rocket League. One that will not only help my game going forward, but will also help all of yours. So make sure you stick around to the end so you can benefit from that just as I did. But with all introductions out of the way, allow me to show you what happens when you go a week without picking up Big Boost in Rocket League. Now for this experiment, on each day we are going to play 9 games, and we're going to check our record after those 9 games to see how well we're really performing. Obviously, throughout the week, as we get used to what we're doing, we'd like to see our record improving day by day. And by the end of it, we will have a definitive answer of how much you really need to rely on the big boosts in Rocket League. And just like that, we make use of picking up pads up the middle of the field. Nothing too special, and we're just in the perfect spot to capitalize on our teammate's pass there, and back into the lead we go. Nice cut. Teammate goes again. Teammate shoots. Teammate scores. We're good. Game 1 in the books. We get the win. 1546 is our starting point, so pretty high GC1. Let's turn aggressively. Off the wall. Teammate. Oh, good try. I have no boost. That's probably gonna be it. We'll just call that one. 3 goals with under a minute. Probably unlikely. Force him off. That's fine. Can take a couple pads here while teammate comes across. And it's in the net. Not much I can do there. So definitely some consistency issues with day 1 there, which honestly is more than to be expected with trying to change how you're playing the game so much. And it's a lot to really get used to, but hopefully we'll start to see some consistency develop from day to day. The one thing I did realize is that when things were going smoothly and I was rotating effectively into the right spot with enough boost, I was able to capitalize on a lot of plays simply because I didn't run all the way out of the play to get boost. The trick is really going to be maintaining that boost so that I'm not wasting it, because I am working on a lot less than I normally am. So the trick to making this work really is not missing pads, pathing over exactly where you need to go, and then making sure that you're only utilizing that boost when you really need to make a play. So that's what we'll be looking to do as we try to up the consistency from day to day. But a 4-5 record on day 1, only going negative by 1 game, is certainly nothing to be upset about, and a very good foundation to build upon as we go forward throughout the rest of the week. Despite a very even start to this challenge, the next couple days were going to be anything but kind. As I kind of alluded to here, when you make such a drastic change to the way you play the game, it can be incredibly difficult to get used to, and you can end up with a lot of unforced mistakes, which is what we were going to see consistently throughout day 2 and day 3. The reality of not grabbing Big Boost means that your rotations will always be slightly different than you're used to. In a normal situation, when you might be going quite wide to rotate back on defense, when you're avoiding the corner boost, your rotations will always be much more narrow. which means the speed that you're taking those rotations at needs to be much slower, or else you're going to arrive to a point on the field way before you need to be there, and then end up in very awkward situations, which we would see time and time and time again throughout the next 2 days, finishing both of them with only a 3-6 record, which I think makes a lot of sense for just how awkward it was feeling 3 days in, and I was already considering just cutting this challenge entirely because of how poorly it was going. It seemed like there really was no hope to be able to consistently win games whilst avoiding the big boost, and that's what I thought until I started to play games after I finished the challenge each day, allowing myself to again go for those big boosts, but maintaining the things I had learned about taking the small pads around the field. And what I realized was, despite how awkward I was playing in games when I wasn't allowed to pick up the big boost, I had learned when I really needed to go for it and when I didn't. So it does seem like forcing yourself into some awkward situations does have its benefits, despite how difficult it may be in the moment. And because of this, we pushed on into days 4 and 5. I wouldn't say that through days 4 and 5 we really fixed a whole lot of our issues. I think we more just got used to the awkward spots we were putting ourselves in, and were able to better respond to the play that came at us when we found ourselves in those awkward positions. Because of this, it did make us feel like we were playing at a higher level, even though we really weren't. But because it felt like we were playing better, we were able to maintain a higher level of confidence, and it led to our first couple positive results of the challenge. No rush, teammate gets a demo as well, that's going to give him a ton of space to work with. Over the top he goes, with the flip, with the ball, with the pass, with the shot, with the goal, there we go, and they're out of here. Just like that, we got our first winning record of this challenge. Going for 5 and 4. So, not a huge winning record, but a winning record nonetheless. Not quite. Keep it in, that's fine. Take the boost. Shot on. That works. Yeah, okay. That just worked. I have no idea how no one challenged this. I was awkward as all get out, but it works. Cool. There we go, that's 5 and 2, and I think that's us into GC2 for the first time in a hot minute. Then we would come to day 6, and finally a realization would occur. Sure, it may have taken all 6 days, but we were finally going to come to terms with why everything felt so awkward. Of course, we wouldn't be able to make this realization at the start of the day. Rather, we would have to push through all of these games while still putting ourselves in fairly awkward positions consistently to finally reach a very important conclusion. I think I have finally figured out the biggest problem with what's happening here. As we've seen throughout this week, we have often found ourselves in awkward situations where we're just not in the proper position to make effective plays on the ball. And after 6 days of playing like this, it's finally clicking in my head that the way we're rotating really doesn't feel all that natural. It feels very forced, like we're not following a normal rotation path as we would when consistently picking up big boosts. I don't know why it's taken me 6 days to realize this, but it does give us a very important lesson to learn for the final day tomorrow. And that is that we need to focus on exactly how we're rotating around the field to make sure that we're rotating smoothly, effectively, and most importantly, with that effectiveness, picking up enough boost to make a play whenever we get to where we're going. All of these incredibly awkward days of putting ourselves in horrible spots and giving up completely unnecessary goals had led to one final day. And despite our revelation on day 6, day 7 was going to start out extremely poorly, with again a pretty low level of play. But then something clicked, and all of a sudden our understanding of this challenge completely changed as we made the biggest realization of the entire week. Play smart here. Pick up some boost. You're chillin'. We might have just won the game. We did just win the game, let's go! And we can really see the formula that's working here coming into focus. It's just all about patience and being smart and making sure we're not wasting boost. I think the biggest issue this entire week has been that I've just been burning boost, thinking, oh yeah, I'll have 100 then, except for the fact that I'm not going to have 100. So just playing slower and smarter has really been leading to us being in better spots, and it has taken 6.5 freaking days to make this realization. But we're finally here, and we can finally use it to push through these last couple games. Take a couple more pads here, see what we get. Keep it in. Bump this guy off. Teammate should have ball. He does. Let's see what he does with it. Double. Good finish, teammate. Nicely done. Teammate forces. That's fine. We pick up the full boost. This guy has flip. Used it. That's it. And open net. Cool. Yes, despite all the hardships, we were able to finish today with a record of 6-3, which, interestingly enough, is the best record we've had this entire week. So what have we learned from this whole experience? Well, despite the fact that it took until day 7 for us to really make a connection of what was going on, the main thing we learned is that you are able to be successful if you only rely on the small boost pads. Sure, you end up in some awkward situations from time to time. You might be a little low on boost in situations where it would be certainly very nice to have a bit more, but all in all, you are certainly able to win games utilizing only the small pads. And what this teaches you overall is just how important it is to preserve your boost. You were able to make any play on the field you would need to with only 40 or so boost. But if you have a bad habit of utilizing that boost to quickly flip and fly around the field when you don't really need to, you're going to end up with a lot less boost in the moments that you need to make a play. Which is what we saw from the beginning of the week up until about day 5 or day 6. Us putting ourselves in a lot of bad spots because we simply didn't have the boost to make a play, because we were using it for things we didn't need to. As we moved into day 7, we made that realization that we needed to be more patient and more decisive in when and where we were using our boost so that we were actually able to make plays when we needed to. If I ever find myself in a position on the field where I don't need to go get the big boost, I have the knowledge now to just be able to take small pad rotations, whether I'm rotating up on offense, back on defense, or through the midfield. And it's that ability that is also going to help give you an edge over your competition. If you can thrive without having to go out of your way to get the big boost, you can be more involved in the play, attack the ball faster, and keep your opponents in more awkward situations more often. And with that, that concludes our week of playing Rocket League utilizing only the small pads. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button right down below so you make sure you don't miss any future Rocket League content. If there's any other experiments that you'd like me to attempt to play through for a week, let me know those down in the comments below. I'd love to check those out. Additionally, if you guys would like to be a bit more involved in the community that we're building here, feel free to join my Discord, which I'll have linked down in the description. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.